Started walking
What's
through
up,
the aisles
creatures?
of books in the kids section of the library, looking for the I Spy books. The kids section was in the far corner of the library. While I was walking from aisle to aisle, I heard a psst from behind me. I turned around and saw nothing. I was looking at the back wall of the library, which had another shelf of books leaning on it. Then I saw half of a grown man's face peer around the shelf and said, "Peekaboo."
What the
I
fuck?
remember laughing and feeling no sense of danger. He did it again. He went back behind the shelf, then peered out his head again and said, "Peekaboo." Again, I laughed. He asked me what I was looking for, and I said the I Spy books. He said he'll help me find it. He came over and took my hand and started leading me through the aisles, leading us, I guess, to the section of books that began with the letter I. And there they were, at least 5 I Spy books next to each other. I grabbed my favorite book, The Treasure Hunt.
I'm just bored as shit.
He said, "Let's go sit down and play." He led me to a table in the corner by a
Listening
couple
to
shelves
some
and
scary
papers. We started looking through the pictures.
videos.
This went on for some time, and he was asking me questions about myself as we played I Spy. The question that still sticks out to me the most is, "Who are you here with?" And I told him my mom and little brother. At some point after this, he said something implying that there's a kid's playroom downstairs. And I, at that age, never knew that there was a downstairs to the library. He said we could take the book
Hey,
down
Vinny.
there. He led me to the door that led to the basement of the library, which, for reference, is actually where events and meetings for certain clubs and organizations are held. There is actually a little playroom down there, I guess, for parents who have to
Bored as
bring their
shit.
kids with them during any of the meetings. The man led me to that little playroom. There were
I
various
didn't want
toys
to do
in there.
my makeup.
Most
Be
notably a
pretty.
Lego set and a
Hi,
Lego
Panchito.
table. And then there were a bunch of chairs. He set the I Spy book down on the Lego table.
I'm sorry, I'm looking
This is
this
where
because I have
things
my
get
mirror.
really uncomfortable thinking back on. As he was trying to forcibly get me to play with the toys, I started to get uncomfortable. Around this time, over the loudspeaker, a female librarian said into the intercom, "Will Liam come to the front?"
Probably mess around and do
Mother's
double
book
eyeliner.
review?" At this time, the man went to turn off the lights in the room. Now it was pitch black inside. He said in the dark, "We're gonna play hide and seek."
Oh, how creepy.
This was the first moment I was genuinely freaked out, and I started to yell for my mom. I remember he kept telling me to be quiet. His voice was getting
Simple,
louder as
just
he was
my
getting
everyday
closer to me
day
in the dark,
day makeup.
until he had his hands on me. I thankfully managed to run past him and out the door of that room. I ran down the dark hallway back to the stairs, and as I was running up the stairs, I had that same childhood feeling of running up the basement stairs after turning off the lights, only 100 times worse, because I genuinely was scared I was going to be grabbed. I made it back to the main floor of the library and ran straight to the front desk, calling for my mom. She was at the front desk with a group of librarians, and I remember the relief on my mom's face when she saw me. I told her there was some man who took me downstairs, and she literally lost it. The next thing I remember from there was a bunch of police in the building searching around, and I never saw that man again. He must have exited the building
Hey,
through a
Missy.
different way. I remember
Yes, I'm
speaking
doing
to some
good.
woman who was probably with the police, asking me very
Well, kinda.
delicate questions.
I'm okay.
I never really asked my mom about this experience that many times, because it's very uncomfortable, and I'd rather just not think of it.
Outback steak and egg combos have become as popular as Applewood Canyon. Just look at all these new limited time combos,
Freaking ads.
like steak and hot honey chicken or filet and snow crab. Mate, these sponsored new combos won't last long. Here
I'm gonna
for
use my
Monday
L'Oreal bronzer.
at Outback Steakhouse.
Lumi bronzer.
Ever Pure Bond Repair repairs weak inner hair bonds and strengthens hair. L'Oreal.
I used to work at the local public library when I was in my early 20s.
I'm listening to some haunted, like
Night
some
shifts as my second
scary
job,
stories.
3 times a week.
It's called Mr. Nightmare on YouTube.
I'd get there at 6 and would work till
Talking about
closing time
libraries.
at 9. I would also be the one to lock up the place after closing, but I wouldn't just leave right after the library would close. I'd have to shut off all the computers, do some cleaning and organizing, stock the shelves with all the returned books and DVDs from the day, take out the garbage, and only then could I leave. It was a Friday night, approaching closing time. Most of the other
Bitch.
library staff was gone already. It was just myself
Because
and one of the
listen
female
to-
librarians left. I had made a couple last call announcements to the remaining library patrons, alerting them that the library would be closing soon. I was already cleaning up the place, trying to finish up early so I could leave and just
Can you
start
guys
my
hear?
weekend. The only other employee still there said goodbye to me as soon as the clock struck 9 o'clock. I announced on the intercom that the library was closed. The two guests that were left got up from their tables and started packing up their things before leaving through the door. After that, when I saw no one else in the building, I locked the front door. I proceeded to start fixing all the chairs to be neatly tucked under their tables, and I started emptying all the garbage cans. And when it was time to bring them outside to the dumpster on the side, I unlocked the front door again and brought them out. It was quiet outside. The library was kind of tucked away from any main roads. When I came back inside, I locked the door again. Now all I had to do was restock all the returned books and DVDs from the day. I grabbed the 2 boxes and started with the DVDs, which was easier since the DVD section was smaller.
Luna, she's
Took
actually
about 5 to 10 minutes.
with my grandpa in the backyard.
During this time, I thought for sure I heard something come from one of the book aisles. I started walking through the aisles till I found an open book laying on the floor, which had clearly
creepy.
just fallen off the shelf. I put it back in its place, and for a second I stood there and just wondered, how could that have happened?
Scary.
I went back to work, and after finishing the DVDs, I took the box of books and started putting them one by one back on the shelves. Going in alphabetical order, I started with the A's. The books in the box were sorted in alphabetical order to make it easy.
Ooh.
As I worked my way down the shelves, trying to bang this out and go home, I heard another noise nearby. 2 times in less than 20 minutes.
I like
That was
listening
no
to all this stuff.
coincidence.
It's
I set
trippy.
the box down and started walking through the aisles of books again. I found another 2 books on the ground in another aisle. Someone was in here. I walked out to the open area
Angels.
with all the tables and such, and yelled out, "Excuse me, the library is closed." There was silence, until I heard something from across the library, from the children's section. I approached the noises, and it started to
Like,
sound
bring
like
closer
some
in here.
rabid animal making growling sounds. I also heard books being thrown onto the floor. It was coming from one aisle. As I built up the courage to peek down the aisle, I saw some woman wearing a nightgown throwing random books off the shelf, making these disgusting
Creepy.
animal-like sounds. I didn't say anything. I turned and ran to the office where we had the phone. I didn't have a cell phone at this time.
I bet her.
I locked
I
the
just
office
noticed
door
that I'm
and
blocking
closed
my
the blinds
face.
to the window. Then I called 911. I reported that there was some sickly woman in the library, and I think they should send an ambulance. They asked if I had approached the woman, and I said no, she looked like she could be dangerous. When the operator asked me if the woman was still in the same spot, I opened the blinds, and I screamed because that woman was right on the other side of the glass looking in. Her pupils were so big that she looked demonic.
How creepy.
I said to the operator, "She's right outside the office." The woman started to bang on the glass, screaming gibberish. She tried opening the door, and when it didn't open, she turned around and sat on a chair facing the office. The operator asked me to keep the blind open and watch her. The woman was wobbly as she sat down, so I noted she was definitely high out of her mind. 2 police cars and an ambulance showed up to the library. The woman was put in handcuffs because she tried fighting the police officers, but nothing she was
Shit.
saying made any sense. She was put in the back of an ambulance and was taken away. I never found
was
out
last
what
minute.
the hell she was on.
We're listening
I
to
don't know
Mr.
how she got
Nightmare
inside.
about
Maybe while I
the
was taking
libraries.
garbage out,
Like,
or maybe she
it's
was
kinda
inside
creepy.
before I even locked the place up. Either way, it definitely made being in the library alone after closing pretty unsettling from there on out.
let's see what's next. Ooh, let's do sleepover horror stories. Okay. Phone is charging in the room.
Make travel so
Damn ads.
expensive. We have this hotel to ourselves. How'd you get here?
Kayak. I compared hundreds of travel sites to find a great deal on my flight, car, and hotel.
Bitch.
Kayak. Search one and done.
Que la fregada. I can skip it. Yay.
This video is sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is a monthly cologne and perfume subscription service that delivers
Wow.
the latest perfumes and colognes for just $17
Okay,
a
what the
month.
shit?
Pick
What damn colognes? Shit.
lived in a home that had this huge backyard in Georgia that made me feel like the most popular kid in class. Anytime playing outdoor games or sports was ever an idea, my backyard would be the spot to go since we had a 2-acre backyard.
Well, okay.
The backyard was surrounded by woods on 3 sides. It also had many trees
nice.
throughout the yard, a trampoline
Call
in
Mr.
one
Nightmare.
corner,
He
a hot tub, a
does
big
different
detached 3-car
videos.
garage, and an above-ground pool.
Meh.
For a middle-class area, we really had everything you
Well,
could
thank
want
you.
in the backyard. There was enough open grass to play any sports, soccer, baseball, football, anything. We even played hide-and-seek tag, or manhunt as we would call it.
I'm gonna do some
On
liner.
Friday when we were in like 6th grade, my friends and I wanted to have a camp-out sleepover in
Zoom.
my backyard. It was
Zoom
Mike,
you in.
other Mike, who I'll call Michael, and Jason. We all had to get our parents' permissions, of course, but we were like 11 or 12 and it was a Friday. None of our parents had any reason to say no. Plus, my family has lots of camping equipment, including 2 tents that could easily fit 2 of us in each one. After all of us got permission from our parents, we made arrangements for them to get to my house around 5 so we could play sports in the backyard. We had 2 mini soccer nets in the yard that we
Hey,
used to play
Reba.
soccer 2-on-2. We did that for like half an
Weekend's
hour.
okay.
Then we played baseball for another maybe half hour. And after just sitting around for a few minutes regaining our energy, my parents ordered pizza for us, so we ate around 6:30
So I'm
or
gonna do my
7
liner
if I had to guess.
different this way.
The sun was starting to go down a little bit now, so now came the time to set
Ooh,
up the tents
Cane's.
before it was too
Honestly,
dark.
I was gonna order
I
Cane's
was
for
pretty good
dinner
with setting up
too,
tents because
but
I was a Boy
I was
Scout
like, I'll get
and just
Cafe Rio.
recently learned how to set up tents. My
I'm
friends
not doing
kind of
shit.
helped,
I'm just
but I
bored
did
out of
most
my
the
fucking
work.
mind.
By the time they were done, it was decently dark out.
Because
The
my
backyard
thing
lights
isn't
were on,
home,
giving a nice
so
glow.
I'm bored.
It was now dark enough for us to play our favorite game, Manhunt. There were a million spots to hide in the backyard. We played in pairs. It was Mike and I hiding first, and Michael and Jason would be hunting. Mike and I split up. Our goal was to get back to the home base point, which was the back
I like
door to
scary
the
things.
house. No camping by the door was allowed. The trampoline was in a far corner of the yard before the woods. I crawled under that to hide. When the hunters would start looking,
You're doing like a
they had
bat
to
wing.
blow
There
a
you go.
whistle to let the hiders know they were starting. Once I heard the whistle, I stayed under the trampoline waiting it out, watching the 2 of them in the distance looking around. I was waiting for a good moment to creep closer to the back door. I had my sights on the hot tub, which was right next to the house. If I could make it over to hide behind the hot tub, I could straight line beeline into the back door. So when both Michael and Jason had their backs to me looking in different areas of the backyard, I sprinted towards the hot tub, and just as I got right behind it and ducked down, I heard one of the trash bins on the side of the house almost topple over, and then I noticed the motion detecting light on the side turn on. The hot tub was by that corner of the house, but it wouldn't have triggered that light. I went to peer around the corner to the side yard. I saw a tall person dressed in dark clothes speed walking away in the direction of the woods. Before entering the woods, it wasn't my dad. I ran to my friends and called the game off, and went to tell my dad about it. We
I
came
know, I
out
wanted
and
to watch
looked
a
around
fight
the
today,
woods
but
for a few
meh.
minutes, and then checked the street for any unusual cars.
Meh.
Nothing and nothing. He said we should sleep inside tonight, which obviously bummed us out. We went inside and just played a game on my PlayStation. I again described to my friends what I saw.
Okay, this is
Some
what I did
tall
for-
guy walking into the woods on the side of the house after apparently almost knocking over one of our trash bins. We talked about just going
So this is
back
what I mean when
outside
I
and
did a
sleeping
bat
in the
wing.
tents since they were already
Is that what
set
it
up
is?
anyway.
So watch.
And plus, what were
Disappears.
the odds whoever that was still out there hours later? After we finished playing our game,
Yeah.
we went back outside quietly to not wake my
And then
dad
talk.
up. It's not like
And
we were
tell him.
hiding the fact that we were going
Hey,
back
lettuce.
out there, but we didn't want to advertise it either.
Oh,
We
creepy.
each had a sleeping bag. Mike and I shared a tent, while Michael and Jason shared the other. After a while of joking around and yelling things between tents, we started to quiet down and try to go to sleep. I wasn't asleep yet, but it seemed like Mike was. I started hearing walking sounds in the grass nearby,
Sorry.
approaching the tent, and then the zipper to the tent was unzipped, and I looked up and saw my dad looking inside the tent.
Oh,
He
shit.
said, "What are you guys doing out here?" I replied to him something like, "We wanted to sleep out here, so we came back out." Then I took a closer look at the face peering into the tent. I realized it wasn't my dad, but some complete stranger who looked to be my dad's age. It looked like he was about to come in when I screamed bloody murder like a little girl. Everyone woke up, and Mike started to scream as well. The man grabbed our ankles and said to be quiet, but he gave up when he realized.
Actually, it's UFC fighting, I think. Right? I think. Yeah, UFC fight. Oh, they call some boxing match? They did? I didn't hear about that. Thank you, lettuce. I know the background noise.
As he was about to be exposed, he left the tent and disappeared. I told my friends
fucking
to run inside
creepy.
the house. As we were running to the house, my dad was already coming out the back door in response to our screams. I told him I don't know which way he went, but that the man from before was back. My dad ran around the yard, screaming and taunting the creep to come back if he has any balls. He heard it from inside the living room. My mom called the police, of course. And all that really happened when the police officer showed up was he took my recount of what happened. And I'm sure he made a police report, then left. It was good to have a police
connect
report
it.
at least,
Fuck
so that
it.
the cops would be aware of a creep going around. I'm not sure if that man ever came back to our property or not.
No, my brother's
Or
not
if he
even
ever got
home.
in
No one's
trouble or
home.
something similar.
Just
Either
my
way, it was pretty
my grandpa.
traumatizing.
He's
It
outside.
could have gone much worse.
Quick hot tip. Perfect.
Chinga su madre. Fucking ads, man. I always loved this eye. Look how sharp that is. Compared to that one. I wait.
This was back a few years, sometime in 2019. I was at a friend's house. I'll call her M for the sake of the story. I was
Hey,
pretty
Barbsy.
excited for this sleepover. I couldn't wait to talk about all the middle school drama. Now, something you might want to know is
Never mind.
M's
It's
house
gonna.
was deep in the woods.
It's a match that
I
was
mean
going to be.
deep.
Oh,
Anywhere
November.
you looked, there was woods.
Nope, they're not
And
home.
Their nearest neighbor was about a half mile away, but on the back side of her house was
Excuse
a
me.
cliff that led down to the ocean. The night at M's house started off pretty good. Our
Just
friend
me.
Sam was there too. We played Truth or Dare, Hide and Seek, and other teenage games. It was getting pretty late, but
I
we
wanna try
decided to go on a walk
double-winged
down the gravel
eyeliner
road that led to the other houses
in a
along
way.
the way. We asked her mom, and she
Meh.
said yes. So we started walking.
Meh.
After another 10 to
Oh, yeah, I
15
forgot I had
minutes,
this
we saw a man
brow
who was
gel
walking on
thing.
the other side of the street towards us. At first, we weren't thinking much. Maybe this dude was just taking an evening walk as well. But something that didn't seem right was that this man was wearing pretty thick clothing. I'm talking, it almost looked like snow gear. And not to mention, it was pretty warm out. At that moment, it was like 60 degrees outside. We all looked at
Yeah,
each
he's
other
in
as we
hibernation.
passed the guy.
I don't know. I
That's
haven't
when it
heard
hit
him all
us.
day.
The stench, the disgusting smell coming off that guy. It was absolutely horrible. Words could not describe how disgusting that smell was. It was so bad that after we finally got a few feet away, my friend took a deep breath, almost like she had been holding it. One of my
Yeah.
friends ran into the woods
My
and
little
almost threw up. At
Squishmallow.
this point, we felt it was best to head back. Our friend who almost threw up was begging to go back
Hey,
anyway.
D. Michelle.
We all agreed that it would be the best idea to head back. On our way back, we passed him again. This time we held our breath before we passed him. But when we looked back, we realized
How's
he was
everyone
no longer
Saturday
walking in
going?
the opposite
Jules, how's the
direction,
kids?
But instead he was following us. This was really annoying. That disgusting smelling man was now bringing his stench even closer. We had no
Ew.
choice but to speed up our pace.
Disgusting
We
smelly
started
man.
speed walking. We still had about a mile to make it back to M's house. As we began to speed up, so did the random disgusting smelling dude. We all looked at each other, scared and annoyed. We picked up our pace even more, almost to the point where we were jogging. But of course, the man sped up even more. At this point, we were running. My friend Sam looked back.
Fucking
And we
creepy.
heard
Oh
it.
shit, my mom's calling.
Sam let out a
Eh,
blood-curdling
she can wait.
scream as she looked back, which
No
caused
way.
Em and I to look back as well. And what we saw,
Gladys on board as
still
fuck,
to
too.
this
That's
day,
why I went on live.
absolutely horrifies me. This man was full on sprinting at us. He had what looked like a knife. or
Gladys, can you
something
tell
sharp
my
in his
mother that
wrist.
I'm live?
Em and
Please.
Sam and I started screaming
Thank you.
as we were sprinting
I know it
down
does
the
feel
road.
like a Sunday.
Our screams caused him to stop chasing us.
Yeah.
And he eventually just
My ex never wore
stopped.
makeup. A lot of people don't like wearing makeup.
He just stood still, watching as we left. He didn't stay around. to
Doing
see what
good,
his
girl.
intentions
Can't
were.
fucking do anything
Just ran
because my
straight
damn
back to
toe.
Em's house.
Just went to the thrift store
Once
today.
we got
Oh, nice.
back,
How was the
we
thrift store?
slammed the door and decided on not telling her
Over here in
parents.
California, a
They
thrift
were
store just
already
opened in
asleep.
Orange County.
We all
The
went to
world's
the living
biggest,
room to finish
world's
setting up
biggest
our
thrift store,
sleeping
supposedly,
areas.
but we'll see.
A few hours
Probably take grandma
passed.
one day.
It was about 2 a.m. at this point. We were watching something. I can't remember what, but I know it was some horror movie. Now, I mentioned your house was on a cliff for
Oh, yeah.
a reason. Because of this,
That's
her
just-
house has a lot of
I know the
windows on
weather does look
backside
weird.
overlooking the view.
It's
I
hot
was
and
sitting
cloudy.
on one of the couches that was set up right at the
Excuse me.
window. It was pitch black outside. All you could hear was the waves and occasional wind. All of a sudden, I heard footsteps outside. They sounded like they were right by the window.
I was supposed
I told
to
my friends. And Em
I
said
was
it
supposed to cook
probably the deer that
some
always comes by.
chicken dumplings, but
2
man.
years now, Em had been feeding this deer, who always came up to this very window. I got pretty excited.
I know thrifting is really cool. I seen at the one in Orange County is pretty. What the hell's that in
I
the
didn't
background?
see anything. It was too dark.
Oh
Said
shit!
we
That
should go
fucking
outside
scared me.
and have
That
the
thing
beer,
right here.
but Em
A
and
little
Sam
light.
said no.
Oh yeah, I should
Reminded me
plug in my
about
little
what happened
lights.
earlier.
Hold on.
But I agreed. So we went back to watching the movie. Another hour passed, and we were all feeling tired. We turned off the TV and headed under our blankets. It was about 45 minutes later. Em and Sam were fast asleep.
Boop.
And I felt like I couldn't rest. Something was up.
T.
I had this
My little
gut
lights.
feeling that told me not to go to sleep. So I decided to look outside. The moon was just bright enough that you could see the ocean. So I spent a few minutes
Oh.
just staring outside. As I was staring outside, my eye caught something moving in the woods.
You gotta call that lady. She won't answer
Turned my head
any of her
that way,
texts.
but I saw nothing.
Just all pure
I
calls.
knew I saw something moving, so I grabbed the flashlight that was on the bookshelf and I pointed it in the direction of where I saw the movement.
She
Now,
has
this was
ghosts.
probably the worst idea
Who
I
has
have ever
ghosts?
had, because when I did so, I saw that man again. This time he didn't have any snow gear on. Instead, he was completely shirtless. I wasn't about to find out what else he didn't have on, so I tried to wake up Em and Sam and tell them what I saw.
That's cute, huh?
Sam woke
I
up,
fucking love
and Em
lights.
was a deep
Twinkle
sleeper.
lights.
I told
Go back, you little beaster. Ooh! Ouija board? I wanna hear all that. My grandpa's bored out of his mind too. Ooh, Ouija board stories. I wanna hear all that. The heartbeat.
A surprising amount of people have Ouija boards just sitting in their closets somewhere collecting dust. And most people probably have never
Oh,
even
yeah.
used them.
We always do.
I found out what Ouija boards are when I was 16. And when I asked my parents if we had one in our house, my mom told me yes. She did have one buried somewhere in the closet with all the board games. That closet was in the basement by the laundry room, a small closet with a bunch of my parents' old stuff. I was intrigued to try using a Ouija board because I was slightly superstitious. I had my mom help me
Oh,
dig
hell
through this
no.
closet without disrupting the integrity.
I'll
of
listen
this
to it,
house. She
but not
sorted
fuck with it,
everything in
because
there.
F all that.
Lo and behold, eventually she finds this old dusty box that simply said Ouija and had two hands
Ouija.
holding the piece that moves around the door
Ouija.
called the planchette. The box was kind of falling apart on the edges, even though my mom said they'd only used it a couple times ever. The first thing I did was text
Oh, a
two of
couple
my
of times,
friends to come
lady.
use the Ouija board with me that weekend when I'd be home alone to make it scarier.
Hell
My
no.
friend Liam, who was 17, had a car, so he picked up my friend Jack and we came right over. It was like 9
When it comes
p.m.
down playing with
It
Ouija
was dark
boards,
out, obviously. My parents were
you
gone
gotta
for a
give it
couple
away with
nights.
somebody.
My
Okay.
younger brother
Well, Gladys,
and
you gotta
two
call her,
years
not
Adam,
text her.
was
She never
also
answered her
there, so I
text.
asked him to join as well. We were gonna play on the floor in the
Oh.
loft, which was converted into my bedroom.
No,
We turned
Grandpa,
off the
he's
lights
just
and then turned on
outside
the
doing
flashlight
yard
and
work.
Put it on the floor in the corner of the room, pointed towards
I
the
just gave
door.
him some water and
All
everything.
four of us sat on
Earlier,
one side
before
of
I
the
went on
board,
live.
and we held the planchette and started asking questions. None of us had ever done this before, so we asked basic questions. I said, if
Sorry.
there's someone there, move the planchette. Then, for the first time, it started to move to the word yes. Adam asked, how old are you? The planchette moved from the number 6 to 7, 67. We looked at each other. While I suspected one of them were moving it, and I'm sure the others did too, we all played along and didn't break immersion. We took turns asking questions. Eventually, I asked the board, are you a demon? The planchette went to the word yes. At this point, we all laughed and broke immersion, knowing one of us was messing around. At that moment, the flashlight turned off, and all of us stopped laughing and got really scared.
Ooh.
Who did that? Someone asked.
Hi, Edie.
But it was clearly
I know,
none of
Mom
us.
called.
The flashlight
I didn't
fell
answer.
away in the corner. I crawled to get it and kept pressing the button. It wouldn't turn back on. I turned on my bedside lamp. And I saw the freaked out expressions on my friends and brother's face.
Sometimes she does, not all the
I said
time.
that was the most terrifying moment for the battery.
I love you, Gladys
Also,
Tinku.
part of me believed it wasn't
Tinku.
a coincidence. We stopped playing after that moment, and we even left
Oh,
my
okay.
room and went to the backyard just because we were all freaked out being in the house at that moment.
Fuck, I was gonna do.
I had to sleep in that room that night, though. And when my friends left and Adam eventually went to sleep,
What I was gonna
I
do.
knew I had to as well.
Oh.
I put the Ouija board back in the box,
Ouija.
brought it downstairs out of my room. I just felt weird sleeping in the same room as it that night. As soon as I turned off the light, I just tried to go to sleep right away, not sitting on my phone for an hour or whatever, like I usually do. As I was starting
I'll give
to
you guys a
finally drift
disturbing-
off into a half-sleep state.
Not disturbing. It's kind of like weird and sad at the same time. A long time ago, I want to say 2009 or 10, no, 2010, I believe. I'm not too, I don't remember, but anyway, when my grandma passed away, which is my dad's mom. When she passed, it was sad, tragic, and stuff like that. And my aunt, yeah, the AC's still on. Porn is disturbing, I know, right? Oh, we gotta sneeze. Ugh, excuse me. Anyways, so when my grandma passed, my dad, my dad's mom, I think was a couple of days later or a week later, my aunt said that, oh, we should, I was there for my aunt, and which is my dad's sister, little sister. We want to go pick up her ashes, and so right when we pick up her ashes and everything, my aunt was in her feels, whatever. She got drunk. We're at the old house looking at things and stuff like that, and I want to say, hold on, I'll be right back. Get my lipstick. Anyways, so my aunt, we brought her back. We actually brought my grandma's ashes back home. And, we're all just minding our business, celebrating her life, whatever. And my aunt got a little too drunk. And my aunt, she slept with me in my room. And, hey, J Poppy, open your bag of chips now. So my aunt, had my grandma in my room. Her ashes were in my room. All night long, I couldn't not go to sleep. Like, oh, Aiden, he's saying that you see spirits. But anyways, I could not go to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. I was just like stuck watching her ashes just sitting right there across away from my room, right? It was on the top of the drawer, and I'm just like staring at it, freaking the fuck out. I just couldn't sleep. I was so uncomfortable. I had the TV off and whatever. I was in the dark, basically. Well, not really, but I was watching TV. I had the TV on, but I had it on super low because she was all passed out. And so afterwards, when my aunt left, it was like at 8 in the morning, 8, 9 in the morning. She finally left to go back home and took her ashes with her. I could not go back to sleep for the life of me. I could not go back to sleep for shit. I couldn't. I was so uncomfortable. It was so heavy in my room. Thank you, Adrian. It was so heavy and uncomfortable in my room. I had to wake up my grandma. I'm like, Grandma, can we please bless my room so I could sleep in peace? And she woke up, whatever. I told my mom about it too. So I remind you, I still have not slept. It's been maybe 10 hours I haven't slept. 12 hours. I don't know how long it's been. 18 hours I have not slept. Finally went to outdoor swap meet. Got sage. After I got sage and everything, Grandma, when doesn't she? So my grandma we came back home. My grandma started blessing the house. She blessed my room first. First thing I had to help her around, and she got holy water and everything. I was helping around, bless the whole house. Right when she blessed the house and everything, I fucking went straight to my room. I was out. I was so comfortable. The whole house felt very light. It felt so relaxing. I was like, thank the fucking Lord, and went to sleep. But yeah, that was my little scary story that I had. Well, not scary, but sad and disturbing for me. But yeah.
Something in my closet fell over. I immediately rose up and looked in the direction of the closet door. I flicked on the bedside lamp and walked over.
Yeah,
to
Mom
the
always
closet.
makes everything difficult.
It's a small walk-in closet where I kept some of my clothes. There's a light switch on the outside of the closet that turned on a single light bulb inside of it. I flicked it on and looked down at the crack at the bottom of the door. There were what looked to be 2 shadows cast by feet on the other side of the door. As soon as I saw this, I started
What
screaming
is
at
she
him
doing?
and ran to his room. I explained to him what I just saw and led him to my room to show him. When he came to my room, the light in the closet was still on, but the shadows at the bottom of the door weren't there anymore. I opened the door. There was nobody in the closet, but there was something on the floor. It was a wooden box that I made in arts and crafts that I would put childhood memorabilia in. It somehow fell over and the contents spilled onto the floor. There is no draft in the world that would have knocked that
She
over.
ordering everything in the
It
menu.
made no logical sense. I slept in my parents' bed that night and then the next. And for a week after that, I slept in the spare bedroom. Eventually, I would start sleeping in my own bed again. And I would never forget that night. I haven't touched a Ouija board since.
Ouija board.
Whether you're curling or crunching, running or riding, lifting.
Oh man.
I had never used a Ouija board until I was in my
Ouija.
mid-20s.
Let's make it evil.
It was never something that interested me. But my friend George was very briefly talking to this girl who was into that sort of thing.
What the hell?
Her name was Mandy. She was into exploring abandoned and allegedly haunted places. One day he invited me to go with them and her friend to this apparently haunted
Riley.
abandoned house about
Oh,
a half-hour
God.
drive away.
I'm
He
blinded.
guaranteed me the friend was cute in order to entice me to go. I didn't have anything going on that night, so I said, why not? We would be doing this late at night. George picked me up first around 11 p.m., and then we drove to pick up the girls from this park. I had already met Mandy once, but not her friend.
Coming back from the
Her
dead.
friend Carly had red hair, a nose ring, and sleeve on her right arm. Mandy had already been to this house before, and she said it was high in activity. A term I'd never heard till that
Wow.
point, but obviously could put together what she meant. I smiled a bit as she said it because I honestly laughed to myself. I don't believe in the paranormal myself, so I found it a little humorous. Mandy brought this big bag with her.
Damn.
So during the drive, I asked what's inside.
That bothered
And
crap
she
out of
goes
my
and pulls
eyeball.
out this box, a Ouija board box. Then she pulls out a candle. Then George said, "Oh, that's the surprise." Apparently, her surprise to George was that we
Imagine
were using a
every-
Ouija
everyone-
board in this abandoned
I
house.
wear this every day.
I'm gonna be honest, that didn't sound super
You can
fun
see
to
the
me,
bubble.
but I was there for the adventure. Mandy directed George where to park when we got close. It was this really dark street with no streetlights,
Oh, you can
with
see
an
the
open
bubble.
field on one side and trees on the other. The house driveway was gated off, so we had to walk from there. We walked through some woods that led us to the backyard of the house. From there, Mandy led us to the back window that she climbed through last time. It was a bit high up, so we had to help the girls up, and we just climbed in ourselves. We walked around the house for a bit. All the furniture was still inside, but it was just decrepit. It hadn't been lived in for probably decades. I don't scare easily, and I must admit,
Yes, pico
being
lettuce,
there at
Mom.
night was very eerie. It would probably be terrifying alone. It was dead silent besides our footsteps on the creaky floors. There were some old portraits of people hung
There
on
we
the
go.
wall. They looked like they were taken in the 50s.
Speaking of
which
color,
made me
did you
wonder how
know
old this
one of
house
my
was and
annoying
what was the
cousins
story
that
behind
lives
it.
in Denver
Most
had her
likely the
eye
couple
color
living there
permanently
died
blue?
and there was no family
Man, it
left to clean
created
the
such a
house.
riff. I'm
Mandy
like, who
set up the
cares?
board on the floor and she lit these
What
two
she
candles.
doing with her life?
I could tell she was really into this
Yes,
stuff.
both, Mom.
She took lead with this, asking a bunch of spiritual questions. The planchette piece didn't move for the first few questions. As she
No,
kept
I'm getting
asking,
this,
"Is anyone there? Can anyone hear?" etc.
This lettuce,
Eventually,
not
she started
lettuce.
to spell out the
This
word
salad.
hello. I laughed and looked at George, who laughed.
Oh, what the fuck? Hold on. Ah, that one hurt. Nope. I'm done. No, I'm getting some salad from Cafe Rio. Yes, cheese, everything. God, you know I'm not picky. Whatever comes with the damn lettuce, everything. Yeah, I'm getting the salad thing from Cafe Rio. It's really good. Okay, but I'm done. What the fuck is outside? But you guys enjoy yourself, your Saturday. Thank you, Missy. I might do a TikTok after this. Ooh. You guys have yourself a good Saturday. I am gonna get off and call this lady. Hi, Diana. Yes, add everything. Cheers to you guys. Oops. But man, I'm gonna get off. On the side. Oh my god. I text you everything that I wanted on there, lady. Adrian, I don't know how the hell we deal with our mother sometimes. I love that lady, but I don't know how we deal with her. Oh, I was looking at my, I know, Adrian. No weed! I ain't trying to have a panic attack. I was gonna tell you guys, a year ago today, I was watching, my old memories popped up on Instagram that I went to go see Swedish House Mafia with my boyfriend. That night was freaking epic. Yes, pico in the soup, no guac, no guacamole, no thank you, because it's all brown because it's been sitting there. CBD is allowed. No CBD, no nothing. Oh look, I could put my little bats on. Little bats. Some little bats. Little bats. Ow! Hold on. Freaking bats. Oh, I will. Grandma is picky. When isn't she? Little baits. What was I going to tell you guys? Oh yeah, Swedish House Mafia. That was so much fun. I want to see them again live. Because that was just really dope. How they had the whole setup and everything. You can see my little... I'm in my room. The little decoration over here. Ooh, excuse me. My fridge is right there. It's a mess right there. So is my life. I'll have a desk over here, and then my closet's behind here. Is that a fucking spider? That wasn't a spider. I love to eat. That's why I'm fat as fuck. Because I love to eat. But you guys, I'm gonna head out. There we go, guys. Yourself a good Saturday night. I am gonna already finish listening to all this Ouija shit. And then eat. Probably watch a couple movies. Hold on, let me bring Luna. Moose! Yeah, come here. Hi! Say hi to everybody! Say bye-bye! Bye! Bye-bye! Oh! I already need you! Peace out, guys. Bye. She's trying to... No biting. Oh, shit. No. Get away from there.